So today is July 18th, and this is a demo of Roam, as well as a little bit of a discussion of our motivations for building it. Um, so the idea of Roam is we are trying to eventually build a peer-to-peer map of the world's knowledge. And the idea there being we want to sort of figure out what the efficient paths are through content in order to help people get to the frontier, right? And we have reasons for why we want to do this that I can go into separately, but that's sort of the why of what we're trying to get to. We think that a prerequisite for that is before you can sort of map out the whole internet, you want to allow a group of people to be able to build out a map of a problem space rather than just having a set of interconnected Google Docs. And that is a thing that we call a dynamic knowledge repository. But before you can build that, you have to build a tool, we think, that allows people to through their own resources sort of really organize a map of the domain of the problems that they're thinking, which we call the personal Memex. And so the personal Memex, right, it has a number of different components. You're kind of seeing it right now. So one of them is this ability to build up an idea over time and sort of zoom in and out. So for instance, I can sort of, just like Workflowy or Dynalist or any other sort of outliner, you can sort of zoom in and zoom out to get like a high level view. But one of the main ideas is that you actually have the ability to reference an idea in many locations. And so that's what these mentions are for. So I can see that, I've got source analysis is a component here, but I've also referenced it from the personal Memex, from the source analysis page. And so what I'm going to go into here are, well, first I'll just go into some examples. So I'll pull up this paper, Concrete Problems in AI Safety. And here what we're doing is we have a document. Let me move this around a little bit and remove these mentions. And what we're able to do is we're able to annotate the document. These are all the annotations. And we're able to sort of navigate to the appropriate sections of the document. So we're able to sort of chart a path through research papers. But then we're able to drag those into these outlines where they can be sort of referenced in all sorts of other ways. So now there's a negative side effects, and then I can look inside Concrete Problems in AI Safety, and I can see these annotations. But let me hop back a second and actually show how this has gotten used. So another key idea that we've got, so that would be the document source analysis, and sort of that. Well, I can basically specify. These are some things that I thought were questionable. I can remove those. This is our filters option. So I want to pull up the idea here of carving reality at the joints. So one of the components to having this sort of personal knowledge management tool is the ability to, and this is also why we call it Roam, right? To as you're thinking about a problem, you don't exactly know how it should be organized. Carve reality at the joints is this quote that we've got, which is that, if you're trying to understand something, you first take in the scattered particulars under one idea. Let me pull up the quote here. You first take in the scattered particulars under one idea so that everyone understands what's being talked about. Second, the separation of the idea into parts, and as nature directs, not breaking any limb as a bad carver might. Right. So this is sort of an approach to problem solving where you want to aggregate all the information that you think might be relevant, but you're not quite sure how it's supposed to be organized initially. So you really need a way to flexibly organize the content that you're aggregating. And so, yeah, that is the thing that we're trying to design here. So I can go from here. I can then look at the various notes that I've taken on this, and I can sort of, I can hop into this idea of carving reality at the joints. I can see where it was referenced. I can then hop back to this note that I had on the personal Memex. And I can see that it's even related to this other paper, and this other paper is sort of talking about how analogies are made. or the role that analogies have in cognition. So yeah, so that the core features here are the ability to explicitly build a graph of your concepts and be able to sort of see as you're working through an idea, be able to zoom in on it, be able to sort of just see the things that are relevant. So I could say, like, just show me, for instance, like the the things that relate to categories, right? Or just the things that relate to single player mode. Single player mode, I've called the personal Memex our sort of single player mode because it relates to our long-term plan, which has a single player mode and then eventually a multiplayer mode. But then I've also called single player mode the personal Memex, and multiplayer mode the dynamic knowledge repository. So yeah, so that is a quick walkthrough of some of our main features: this document analysis with precise links, the ability to have these filters so that I can sort of collect items together, and the ability to build up this graph. We've done some other things around graph visualization. I could talk about other things that relate to the organization, but basically right now we're working with researchers to try to help them particularly map out their problem spaces so that we can get a better sense, one, what the individual needs of research teams are so that they can collaborate on this stuff more effectively as we work towards this multiplayer mode. Let me remove these filters. Yeah. So yeah, I'd love your feedback.